Thanks for tuning in. I'm Cecilia Manella, and I'm really glad that you're here. Today, I want to talk about body diversity and body positivity for children. So this is for all the parents out there, all the mentors out there that have little people in your life. I want to talk to you today. What I want to talk to you about is this rampant insecurity in young people and in children especially. So it does exist in both girls and boys and all genders, but it seems to be more prevalent with young girls. So I'm going to talk in terms of young girls. And a lot of what parents are dealing with is girls who are talking about not liking their bodies or thinking their thighs are too fat or thinking that they're too fat or that they're ugly, and all the things that happen with self-criticism, especially around body image and what people look like. And as parents, I want to give you a really big tip here. The number one tip around how to manage this and what we typically do as adults, what we want to do to help children, and what is actually more helpful. So when you have a young girl come up to you, your daughter, your niece, or whoever it is, and say, for example, my thighs are too fat, I'm too fat. And our automatic reaction is to soothe that emotion, to take that insecurity away from them and say things like, of course you're not, honey, you're amazing, you're beautiful, you're all the things, people think you're beautiful. And we really focus on trying to alleviate the insecurity. Now, although this is can be positive and helpful in some ways, what it does though is it reinforces this focus on physicality. It really reinforces the idea of what someone looks like and body image, and sharing your opinion that you think that they're beautiful, they're attractive, or they're not fat, or whatever it is that you're saying. Now, what this does is that, one, it focuses on their physicality, but also like they just won't believe you. Think about yourself when you're really critical of yourself and you share that with someone and they just reaffirm and say the opposite. You don't actually believe them. We keep that critical thought to ourselves and just say things like, well, it's because you love me, it's why you think that, or it's because you're my sister or my partner and that's why you're saying these things, but really you're not telling me the truth. Now for kids, it's exactly the same way. They don't believe what you're saying because they know that you're their parent or you're someone in their life and you're just saying these things, but they're in their mind, the critical thought is, but everybody else thinks that. My peers think that, my friends think that, or this person I see on social media would think that. So what healthier and more empowered response would be is to focus on body diversity. So we don't talk a lot about body diversity. We talk a lot about body positivity, and that can be toxic in and of itself because it focuses on the physical aspects of things and just accepting. Whereas body diversity really focuses on all bodies are super diverse, and there's not a single body that's created exactly the same. We all look different, we smell different, we have different colors, textures, hair, like eye color, ability, strength, height, weight, size, all these things are very different. And so when you focus on body diversity versus just body positivity, what it does is it creates a language around how diverse and amazing humans are. And so a response to that is questioning where they got the idea that her thighs are fat, or where she got the idea to think that she's fat. I would want to know that and question, well, where did you hear that from? What makes you think that? And then jump into a conversation around like, well, all bodies are so different. Like none of us are created exactly the same. And let's talk about body diversity. Let's talk about people's abilities. And you can point to people in their life who are stronger, who are faster, who are taller, who are shorter, who are a little heavier, who are really thin, or who have different colored hair, different colored eyes, and focus on how our DNA and how we're made up is just this magical thing that happens. And that the girl in front of you who's super critical and who's getting in her head about not being good enough or not being thin enough or not being tall enough, is that there's no way to measure that it's much better to think about like all our bodies are super diverse. And what's different about your body? What's really cool about your body? What can your body do that is really, really cool? And it really opens up the conversation for inclusivity around ability with the body instead of focusing on aesthetics and what it looks like. Because there are people who are in wheelchairs, there are people who are really short, there are people who are really tall, there are people there's just so much diversity. And so when we focus on body positivity, it actually takes us away from having a conversation about diversity. And there's a lot of empowerment in diversity, because there is when a young person can find their identity in this world of diversity and knows that there isn't just one standard to achieve. So I hope this is helpful, your parents. please let me know how that goes. Please let me know what your thoughts are around this whole idea of body diversity. If you want to know more about it, or want me to chat more about it, or focus on these topics, that would be really great to know. So I hope you have a fantastic day, and this tip will help you have different conversations with the young people in your life.